Daniel Larson, a name that you've probably heard before. Even if you haven't, you've probably seen one of his many weird videos on online platforms like YouTube and TikTok. And trust me, the more you look at it, the weirder it gets. In fact, the Daniel Larson rabbit hole is so deep and dark that you can talk about it for hours, yet barely scratch the surface. Be it for his fog saga, extremely disturbing live streams, or downright pedophilic Pinterest board, nothing about this man seems right, and you will soon know why. Who is Daniel Larson? Daniel Larson is not only a mentally unstable person, but his actions are, and there's no other word for it, criminal. Based on the most recent events, he was actually arrested in February of 2024 for not appearing in court for his previous arrests. A body cam footage recorded the incident in which Daniel can be seen enjoying his Chinese food when he was handcuffed. However, as you can tell, this is not the first time he has been arrested. He's actually been arrested a handful of times for his vile antiques. If you don't know who he is, you're in for a treat, or perhaps not. You might think otherwise after finding out all the horrible, erratic, and disturbing stunts he has pulled in the past. In this video, we'll delve into the victims affected by Daniel Larson's actions, shedding light on the reckless behaviors and consequences resulting from his actions. 1. Grace Vanderwall. Let's start with the beginning. Daniel was born on November 15, 1998. According to Daniel, his early life while he lived with his parents was not great. His mother abused him, and he was deeply neglected, which led to social services to take him away and place him in a facility called Tennyson Center, specially designed for taking care of abused children. It was during this time that he made his first public appearance in an interview with news stations along with his grandmother, who moved from California to Colorado to take care of him. Looking at these videos, who would have guessed what a vile path his life would take? But unfortunately, it did. Daniel lost everything when his grandmother died. He made a TikTok account, and his personality became increasingly disturbing. Initially, he would make videos about his passion to become an actor and a singer, but it didn't take long for people to notice his odd appearance or even odder personality. They ironically hyped him up in the comments, and he fell for it. With a bunch of people egging him on, this was bound to get to his head. Soon, his content started shifting. His videos became more delusional. In one of these videos, he said that he was thinking about running for the presidency.
In the year 2024, I'm going to be starting my presidential campaign.
Little did anyone know that his hunger for attention and fame would lead him somewhere dark and disturbing. It was after this that he started gaining more and more followers on his account, reaching more than 1 million followers. However, with more followers came more trolls. Daniel fell for every trick ever pulled on him. People sent pizzas to his home, they pretended to be his manager, his fans, his father, you name it.
So there's currently an argument going on downstairs about the pizza deliveries from yesterday. We had a total of 3 people deliver pizza all within a 30-minute period. They were all unpaid.
But things began looking serious when his obsession with being famous turned into a desire to date famous people. He became extremely obsessed with Grace Vanderwall, a contestant on America's Got Talent. According to people who closely follow the Larsonverse, it all started with a single comment made by Daniel's grandmother when he was only 18 and Grace was only 12. He said that maybe Daniel could be with her one day when he is as big as her in the music industry. In the years after his grandmother's death, Daniel became dangerously obsessed with Grace.
Now, what I find suspicious is I've heard rumors that Grace Vanderwall has an OnlyFans account. I've never found her OnlyFans account, though.
But one of my favorite artists is of all time, music artists is of all time that actually influenced me to get into the performing career. When I, saw her audition for America's Got Talent, I was immediately like, this makes sense. I could do this someday.
He has also been catfished countless times by people who pretended to be Grace Vanderwall.
This message is to Grace Vanderwall and to the fans. We are officially dating. Grace Vanderwall has told me to make this public. We are officially dating.
The problem with his obsession with Grace was that she was not an adult, and this made things very, very creepy.
Hello, this is Daniel Larson, and I am proud to say that I will be collaborating with Grace Vanderwall.
He constantly claimed that he was dating Grace, making videos for her and saying things that you definitely shouldn't be saying for an underage girl. He even went as far as saying that Grace took her own life and she died of a heart attack. In one of his videos, he admitted to sexting minors and sending explicit pictures to Grace herself.
I admit to sexting minors and sexting Grace and sending Grace a dick pic.
He even went to different restaurants and bars and even walked up to random strangers announcing that Grace Vanderwall was dead.
Hello. There's currently a celebrity of the name of Grace Vanderwall that just passed away as of 6:30 tonight. We're asking that the message gets spread. Do you think you guys could spread the message through here? Grace Vanderwall.
Is she from ABT?
Yes.
She died?
She just died.
Stop it.
Yeah. Currently, I was actually supposed to do a collaboration with her.
Shut up.
And she just passed away. I was like talking with her just as she died.
Shut up.
Yeah.
It better be fake news.
It's not.
Although Grace herself never acknowledged Daniel's existence, her mom, Tina, contacted Larson and asked him to stay away from their family, even threatening legal action. But this was just the beginning of all the disturbing things about Daniel that surfaced not much later. A revelation was made by one of the users named Flexburger, who posed as Daniel's manager. The evidence provided by him pointed with all hands to the fact that Daniel was probably a pedophile. On many occasions, he said seriously concerning things, such as looking up children wetting their beds.
I am sorry, Dave, for looking up kids wetting the bed.
There was another incident in which he was caught on camera trying to kiss a little girl. Soon, a Pinterest account that belonged to Daniel started making rounds on the internet. On this account, there was a board called Girl Crushes. Now, the content of his Pinterest was way more disturbing than you can imagine. There were hundreds of pictures and albums of young girls. At first, Daniel denied that the account belonged to him. He told all kinds of stories, that Flexburger was trying to frame him, that his account was hacked, and so on. But eventually, he admitted that the account was in fact his.
I created the Pinterest as a way to go viral.
The Pinterest is a way. Wait, sorry. Could you explain? Could you just repeat that?
Yeah, so I made the Pinterest as a way to go viral at that time.
Of course, it's a smart way, right?
Yeah, and then I told the fans that, like,
it was Flexburger, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And not Flexburger, but you know what I mean. I threw it off.
It was a bunch of them. It was a lot of them.
But then when it went viral, it did actually get hacked. So that is the truth.
Yeah, it got
worse.
And then
it got worse.
Yeah.
It soon became evident to everyone that Daniel was no longer a goofy guy with the intentions of making it big in music, but he was a truly disturbed individual. Soon after this incident, Daniel did something even more questionable. He appeared on TikTok Live on May 6, 2021, completely naked. As expected, he was immediately banned from the site. But guess what? The very next day, Daniel made another account and did the exact same thing. As to why he did this, no one really knows. However, he did explain why he went nude online. The only issue was that he did in a protest for overturning Roe v. Wade.
But basically the reason on why I went nude on social media, and I'm going to try to make this as short as possible, is I was told by this fake management that I was to go nude. It was like an audition for a porn, like a regular adult porn shoot that was going to help my career blow up. They said it would give me tons of views and it would help me out.
Hey guys, quick heads up. I've noticed a lot of you enjoy my videos but haven't hit the subscribe button yet. So it would be awesome if you could hit the subscribe button. Now, back to the video. Daniel apparently did this whole speaking at the protest after he ran away from his care home in Denver. He ran to Colorado Springs after one of his so-called managers called him and convinced him that Grace Vanderwall was there. Daniel used to live with his caretaker Jonas and roommate Gavin at that time, but his relationship with these two was not a happy one either.
You keep waking us up.
It wasn't me who did it. It was him.
You keep waking us up.
I should have fixed it.
Please get away.
Please get away. Get me the hell.
Please get away. Please get away.
According to Larson, Jonas abused him and treated him badly.
Nothing, dude. I'm doing nothing.
See what he did.
Like, just leave me the fuck alone. I want peace and quiet. That's why I'm moving out in a week.
You break my door.
No. Stop.
But in a lot of his videos, we can see that it was actually the other way around. He was the one who persistently harassed Jonas and Gavin.
I'm speaking perfectly good English, and you're threatening me. I come home, you're cornering me, you're coming into my room. What have I done to you? What have I done to you? Why are you threatening me with the police? Call your wife.
In one of the videos he posted, he complained endlessly about only getting to eat mac and cheese. He also said that Jonas poisoned his food.
I'm going to now ask my care provider if I could get macaroni and cheese, if that's all we fucking have in this house. This tastes like cow piss. Literal fucking cow piss. Holy fuck, my mouth is on fire. Holy fuck. I know why this tastes different. It's got something in it that's like sour as well. And if you look, it's got like little things in it. I don't know what it is. I've never seen that.
After tormenting Jonas for a while, Daniel eventually left his home, and his justification for this was that Jonas abused him. But this didn't look like a possibility. And given that Daniel was used to spinning stories and telling lies, no one really believed him. He just felt the need to target the only person who was looking after him. He eventually ran away from home to find Grace. But unfortunately, or should we say fortunately, he did not find her. But what he did find was the Roe v. Wade protest, which he attended, and someone made the mistake of giving him a mic. And what happened next is history.
So, because of my autism, my grandmother passed away of cancer. They ended up getting me to go onto TikTok Live and go completely nude on live. And at the time, there was 3,000 people. 3,000 people in that live. And it went worldwide viral. Worldwide viral. And it kind of ruined my career because at the time, I was really inspired by a singer named Grace Vanderwall. And at the time, I was around 18 years old. And I wanted to collaborate musically. Of course, I don't know if that's in my future anymore.
After running away from his house in Denver, he was homeless for some time on and off. He actually managed to find a place to live a couple of times, but he was always kicked out for various reasons. In August, after being homeless and trespassing charges, which was ultimately dropped, he received housing again. But this too didn't work out. His address got leaked, and people started sending him pizza several times a day. But he was also not blameless in losing his house once again. He apparently damaged the property severely, punching holes in the walls and destroying most of his bedrooms. It all eventually led to an epic meltdown in October. This meltdown was so erratic that the police were called, and he was fined $1,000 for destroying the property and was also kicked out of the property. It's absurd how he managed to completely ruin the house in just 46 days he stayed there. Not to mention he was extremely aggressive and rude to his caregiver, who, just like Jonas, didn't deserve it. The next one on his victim list is Bob Proctor, a figure who undoubtedly played a very important role in Daniel's life. Knowing him from his childhood, Bob took on the impossible task of being Daniel's mentor. Not only this, but he's also one of the greatest financial enablers for Daniel, and also paid for the production of his most famous song, Roaring Thunder. Although Bob always encouraged him to pursue his music career and served as a scapegoat for him whenever he needed to blame someone for his actions, he took him for granted. After being kicked out of his house following the October 16th meltdown, Daniel was homeless once again. One night, he slept in an elevator shaft and even attempted to sleep at IHOP, but he was kicked out. Some of his so-called friends invited him to Colorado Springs, where they stayed at a hotel and allegedly did weed. The next morning, they went to the Garden of Gods for a hike. However, Daniel soon got bored and asked to be taken home. Eventually, his friends dumped him at Walgreens and left, after which he started walking back home to Denver. Thankfully, he only managed to walk 20 miles before some of his fans noticed him and dropped him home. In December of that year, Daniel went on and decided to gamble his money and had to be picked up by Bob Proctor. Later that month, he had his infamous breakdown in Bob's car, which led to Bob to ask him to leave his car.
So I wasn't going to film, but since you have a problem with me bringing my phone in the car, okay, now I'm going to film, because that's my legal right. Okay?
In the video, you can see Bob asking him to not use his phone in his presence. Daniel did not want to do that, and they got into an argument, which led Bob to yell at him.
What is it?
Get out.
I'm not going to do it, because I have my phone.
Get the f*** out of my car!
Okay, don't f***ing grab me.
You want me to break your fucking car?
If you break my arm,
Then get the fuck out of my car!
Okay, then let go of me,
Daniel then started guilt-tripping Bob into buying him dinner, saying that he would starve if Bob didn't. And when Bob refused to do that, he said that Bob just causes issues and is never any help anymore. Later after this incident, Daniel spinned another story. He told the police and everyone willing to hear that Bob ran him over with his car.
Bob just ran me over with his f***ing car. Bob just f***ing ran me over with his f***ing car.
However, given what an unreliable narrator Daniel is, no one believed this. The truth is that Bob attempted to become a mentor and guardian for Daniel, but all in vain. Rather, he faced the full wrath of Daniel's anger. Daniel has done nothing but take his generosity for granted by frequently getting into arguments with him, wasting away his money, and even physically assaulting him. Daniel has a pretty absurd criminal record. He has been on the wrong side of the law many times. He was spotted a lot of times by people on the streets in a squabble with bus drivers for not paying the ticket fee or being kicked out of cafes and restaurants.
How about this?
Just because
this is my cafe, and I say, and I have cameras that will show that your head was down. Now you can argue and escalate this, or, right? Because I've got Lakewood on speed dial. Or
So go ahead and
just
call
leave.
them.
Okay, that's
Like,
perfectly
just
fine.
because I was...
Absolutely, not a problem. I'll just let the police in.
His many crimes include trespassing at bars and hotels. He even attempted to sleep at a casino once, and when he was told to leave the premises, it ended up in a huge meltdown. Eventually, the police were called and he was kicked out.
No, you not. No, you fucking won't, bitch. No, you fucking won't. You aren't gonna do shit.
Let's go right now. No. Fuck out. Walk. Let's go.
Don't yell at me. I said don't yell at me. I said don't yell at me. I said don't yell at me. I didn't do anything.
After this incident, he went missing for a while, Daniel's explanation for this disappearance was that a bunch of trolls attacked him and he has been in the hospital. However, he made his comeback with an idea that was way too absurd, even for Daniel. He made a video in which he said he was wondering where to get some fireworks. His idea was to set fireworks in a casino. This was the video that TikTok banned. However, Daniel still found his way into the casino, but thankfully, he never managed to set his master plan into operation. On May 15, 2023, Daniel posted that overnight he was given a citation for sleeping in an MTA subway station. He said that it was a $100 fine and posted a video that briefly showed the ticket on his TikTok page. Other than this, there were a lot of warrants against him for petty theft, smashing a car window, and other property destruction cases. However, on August 4, 2022, Daniel uploaded a video announcing that he had gotten it all taken care of by merging it all into one case, and that it should all be cleared up within the month. His charges were eventually dropped, but this was not the end of anything. What followed next was another Larson incident that people will never forget. This time, Daniel tried to trespass Folsom Field before the football, claiming that Deion Sanders invited him and that he was supposed to pick up his VIP passes. However, he did not have the passes, and for that reason, the field security did not let him in. This made Daniel very frantic and agitated. He went to the college community page and posted a bunch of frantic and aggressive posts, saying that he was supposed to be with Sanders on the stage and that he would have to trespass. He was already extremely frustrated with the security, and when one of the security members tried to stop him from going inside without a pass, he physically assaulted the guard and allegedly kicked him. Eventually, like always, the police were called and he was arrested for third-degree assault. Videos of him getting arrested were posted by bystanders, but nothing much is known about this incident. All we know is that he was ultimately released and made his comeback on TikTok. After this incident, he was arrested a couple of times. He was arrested once again for the fourth time this year for fugitive justice. This was caused by missing court on March 27, 2024. Despite showing up very late, he was arrested on the bus, booked into the Douglas County Detention Facility, and was held at a bond of $1,500 before being released the next day. After his last arrest in April, he was booked into the Jefferson County Detention Facility and is ineligible for bail, possibly indicating felony charges. What we fail to understand from the story of Daniel is how long until people like this will be held accountable for their actions. And most importantly, what leads people like him to become what they eventually become? Seeing an innocent 12-year-old child enjoying time with his grandmother, no one could have guessed all the horrible things he would do in the future. Who do you think is to blame? Did society fail him and make him into this? Or was it his own vile tendencies?